Because he got cucked.
Yeah, he did.
and smiled at it.
And so, yeah, and was happy about it. I don't know. Personally, I don't always think that is a negative thing, to each their own.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the non-judging breakfast pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, the rookie, what are we calling me now, Leif, that we're in season 4?
I'm not sure, but how about a single malt for breakfast?
Well, it takes the edge off the Coke.
It certainly does.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the very first time, and together we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fan moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a seat for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a mimosa, a cup of coffee, or roll up whatever Chuck is getting his day started with, and let's go ahead and get into this.
So a couple things before we get into the episode. So you were on Fard and Fable, and you watched a late season 9 episode of Smallville.
Correct.
Which you have not seen anything like past like season 4?
Right, yeah. I think some of wherever James Marsters joined Brainiac, I think season 5. So I think a couple episodes of season 5. And then, yeah, a random one here or there beyond that. So yeah, it was pretty much a cold episode for me.
Have you watched anything else from that season?
No, I have not. I thought about watching a little bit more of it and then watch Stranger Things instead.
I would suggest going back to the start of that season. When people ask me for comparisons to Dan and Blair in other teen shows, the first comparison is obviously Joey and Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Right.
But I think even closer to them is Lois and Clark from Smallville. They also just really nail that old school screwball comedy atmosphere. And unfortunately, the episode you saw didn't really have much of them interacting.
No, it was actually quite the opposite. Yeah. That we saw them together in the beginning, but a big part of the tension was the secrets between them.
What is it now?
And we also got an email from friend of the pod, Eden. She writes in.
Hey, NJBP. I haven't written in a while, but I just finished your recap of Damien Darko, one of my all-time faves, and wanted to share some thoughts. I completely get why you guys were not fans of this one. The Ben storyline is awful, but I barely care about him, because the Dan and Blair arc is so good. The episode has so much potential, classic Gigi, give us incredible setups, and then fail to deliver. One thing I love is how this episode echoes Donnie Darko, also a fave of mine. In that film, the protagonist is influenced by unseen forces. In Gossip Girl, that force is literally Gossip Girl, plus the usual web of adult corruption, Lily, the legal system, etc. Everyone is operating within an invisible structure directing their choices. Both the film and this show are obsessed with the gap between the world people appear to inhabit and the world they're actually living in. Like in DD, this episode contains a reality distortion, i.e., Dan and Blair becoming friends. I also love Dan and Blair's walk and talk scenes so much. It's one of my favorite devices, and something this show does extremely well, exploring character through conversation. Their small moments and cultural references often tell us more about them than anything they explicitly reveal. A few notes on the references. It makes total sense that Blair would dislike Scorpio rising and see it as esoteric. It's experimental, underground, and a fixture of counterculture, which also explains why Dan would defend it. Blair's line, "That dreck puts the ick in esoteric," is perfect. She's clearly spending a lot of time with Cyrus because Yiddish is now part of her everyday vocab. Similarly, it tracks that Dan wouldn't appreciate Degas. He claims he doesn't think fashion is art, which Blair pushes back on. That viewpoint is a great metaphor for his relationship to the UES. He sees this world as superficial, when there is always more beneath the surface. The ballerinas might look frilly and decorative, but Degas also shows the backstage reality, i.e., exhausted bodies, discipline, ambition, which is why Blair resonates with it. While she usually presents one version of herself, through her friendship with Dan, we start to see more of what she hides from the world. This theme is essential to Gossip Girl and links all the way back to the first episode of this season and its Belle de Jour reference. It also shows up in Ben and Damien's conversation. Damien and Ben both present one facade while hiding a completely different truth. The nerd-to-drug dealer pipeline concept is honestly a whole show I would watch by itself. Damien elevates what is otherwise the armpit of this episode and season, aka anything to do with Ben. And I especially love the detail about Damien writing an essay at boarding school comparing The Wire to the Iliad. We learn so much about him from that line, including how he views systems of power. The Wire and the Iliad are both about people locked into battles they didn't choose, which brings us back to the show's focus on appearance versus reality. These characters are constantly dropped onto battlefields, pushed into situations created by forces outside their control: class, social standing, family expectations, etc. It all loops back to the masquerade ball, to the tension between Brooklyn and the UES. Blair wears the dresses and plays the part, then eats an entire pie alone. The ballerinas shine in their poses, but when we pull back the curtain, they're vulnerable and human. Can't wait for the next episode. Best, Eden.
Thank you very much for writing in, Eden.
Yes. I do like, I didn't really think about the Damien Darko connections either, or the Dottie Darko.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah, a lot of it does, and it's funny because I wasn't looking for it. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, so I wasn't really looking for those. Yeah. Thank you very much for the insight. We really appreciate that.
We're talking about season 4, episode 19, Petty in Pink.
Yes.
Original air date was April 25th, 2011, and of course, based on the film Pretty in Pink, 1986 Brat Pack. We got Molly Ringwald, John Cryer, Harry Dean Stanton.
And it's kind of funny. First of all, we had the whole Harry Dean Stanton references way early. Remember, that's one of those things that got Rufus and Lily together. Mm-hmm. The other funny thing, I'm really shocked they didn't use Pretty in Pink in some form when Jenny was on, because such a big thing about that is that she can't afford a dress and makes her own. Yeah. That she has to make her own clothes. So it's interesting that they saved it until the pink party. That I wish that I saw more parallels here.
Episode was written by Amanda Lasher, who was previously done in season 2, Pret-a-Poor J, Gone with the Will, Seder Anything, season 3, The Freshman, They Shoot Humphreys, Don't They? In The Lady Vanished, It's a Dad World. And then in season 4, she's already done 2 episodes, The Undergraduates and The Townie.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of a resume there.
Some very good ones, though.
Yeah, Dad World was great.
I know you didn't particularly like they shoot Humphreys, don't they? But it's definitely a classic episode.
They Shoot Humphreys, Don't They? Is the threesome episode? That's threesome fallout.
No, that's when Jenny gets into it's her cotillion episode.
Oh, right.
Gone with the Will was good. Seder Anything was good.
Undergraduates, I think, was good.
That was when you had the fake fight with Blair and Serena.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Townie was really good.
Yeah.
The episode was directed by Liz Friedlander. This is her first and only episode of Gossip Girl, but a lot of credits in the genre. One Tree Hill, Melrose Place, 90210, Privilege, Pretty Little Liars, The Vampire Diaries, The Secret Circle. So very accomplished in the genre. But then also, I noticed her most recent credit was the third episode of season 2 of Fallout, which I just watched last week.
Yeah, which was fantastic. They haven't done a bad one yet, but I did catch up on Fallout when you had brought it up.
I haven't watched the 4th episode yet.
Me neither. I did want to wait for everything to be released, but then I figured that I'm going to eventually see too much on TikTok.
Exactly. Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
All right. Vulture, what did you have to say? Last week, Serena taught her cousin Charlie how to blow $1,000 on clothes like it was no big whoop. This week, she indoctrinated her in the complex art of managing your friendships through stealth, manipulation, and one-upsmanship. She should have stuck to shopping. Serena's mission to find out whether Blair and Dan were being horrible friends by sneaking around behind her back failed spectacularly. Of course, Serena can't even fasten a bra, but never mind put together a mission. And the resulting blowout in which Blair called Serena out on her egoism and her stupidity left Serena diminished and alone, pathetically dialing a one-night stand in France, just so that she could have a French boyfriend too. Elsewhere, other friendships exploded simultaneously, and Archibald, surrounded by a grotesque Greek chorus of pink-clad, Botoxed minions, told Lily off for cold-shouldering her when the captain was down and out, and Dan unceremoniously slammed the door on his old buddy Vanessa's face when her soon-to-be replacement scoped out her old room. And with Nate continuing to blithely step Chuck's ex-girlfriend in his BFF's very home, it raised the question, who on the Upper East Side is a good friend? Only it seems Rufus, who in another life we imagine was a loyal hound called Rusty. Sick 'em, Rufus, sick 'em. Remember Rufus? Remember when Rufus had integrity?
Yeah. Well, we get into Act 1. Gossip Girl opens with, diamonds are a girl's best friend, but ask any Upper East Side girl to show you her most prized possession, and we bet the box is Vivier, not Cartier. But the truth is, just because the shoe fits doesn't mean you won't want to wear it. We get a short sequence of Blair's Vivier shoe placed in a box and delivered to Blair before jumping into a scene of Blair trying on outfits with Dorota in preparation for a grand date with Louis.
So we see Blair being terrible about her outfit and decides to go raid Serena's closet.
An interesting thing is she ends up wearing the exact outfit she's wearing here for the rest of the day until the party.
Yeah.
Lily, on house arrest at the penthouse, is trying to find an outfit that will hide her ankle monitor. Serena, Eric, and Charlie come home and find Lily amidst the spoils of her online shopping safari. Lily has to clear up, though, because the Pink Party Planning Committee is coming over to do gift bag prep since Lily can't attend the actual event. Serena pulls Charlie aside for a quick chat.
Lily's on house arrest, the big reveal.
Mm-hmm. Eric's immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Yeah. They're coming here? He knows which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah. Eric pays attention on the Upper East Side.
Yeah. Rufus is at the loft borrowing movies, and Dan lets him know he got a job opportunity, but he feels a little bit weird about stalking a royal. Rufus is proud of the job, but then gets cranky because Dan and Vanessa aren't talking.
Yeah. Yeah, Rufus, he's mad at her from the time that she almost killed somebody and blamed it on your daughter. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It was just Jenny.
Rufus's weird obsession with Vanessa.
Yeah. Shouldn't you bring Vanessa around more?
Blair is still picking outfits when she gets a call from Louis. Blair lets him know that she is going to essentially be introducing him to New York society on their date today. But Louis tells her no one has to know that he is with her. Not a problem. Blair has the perfect spot to avoid prying eyes. The minions arrive and Blair stops Dorota from telling them her date is with the prince. Blair demeans the minions a bit. However, for Penelope, the scent of gossip is like catnip, and she can't help but tip off Gossip Girl to the mystery.
And Blair has an idea as to where they can go where people like them would never be caught.
Yeah.
So, of course, we're moving to Brooklyn.
It's not even Brooklyn, it's the Lower West Side.
Oh, okay, yeah. But they treat it like Brooklyn.
It's NYU territory.
Yeah.
And
Their shared ground.
yeah. The look on Jessica's face when she hands over the cuff just made me think of our conversation with Alice. How she talked about how like all the great outfits and stuff she got to try on, but didn't get to keep anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That look when she's like giving it over. Oh.
Yeah. When she finally snatches it out of her hand.
It appears Serena did get Vanessa's message from last week and is now having Charlie help her research times when Dan and Blair were spotted together. In the middle of their research, a Gossip Girl blast goes out seeking info on Blair's mystery date, which of course Serena assumes is Dan.
I loved this scene because of all of the times Blair and Dan were like, we need to make it look like a coincidence. We need to make it be, we need plausible deniability. And so here's Serena reading all of these Gossip Girl blasts, providing the cover for them. Like, oh, no. Of course they would have. I was drugged. Oh, of course they would have done that because she loves Nanette and Dan loves those stupid movies. Yeah. It was such great payoff for Dan and Blair's setup over several
Blair
episodes.
knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
That's the double-edged sword of Gossip Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan is posted up outside Veselka and sees Louis getting out of his limo. You really get a sense that Dan is uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird assignment. You should be uncomfortable stalking a stranger just to take tabs on where they are.
Yeah, so just hire this random college student to be a paparazzi.
Yeah, weird. I mean, no weirder than hiring a random high schooler to do an expose on the murder of a person in a building by Bart Bass.
Well, at least he had like an in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Serena's text string with Lily is interrupted by a call from Charlie, who then says she sees Dan outside of Veselka looking guilty. Charlie tells Serena to stand by as Dan goes inside. She then sees Blair exiting a town car. Charlie turns her back to avoid being spotted and then lets Serena know the quote-unquote bad news. Blair enters and Dan and her banter a bit. When Dan sees who she's there to meet, he gets up and leaves. Charlie conveniently still has her back to the restaurant as Dan makes his exit, and Blair and Louis are still inside.
This is funny. The trying to teach Charlie how to manage the Upper East Side intrigue and shenanigans, and here she's seemingly just fumbling every step of the way, despite really doing exactly what she was supposed to do.
Yes. Poor S. Apparently Blair and Dan's boots are made for walking right all over you. That's what Gossip Girl says as we go to the break. We come back to Act 2, and Serena enters Veselka and thinks she has caught Blair and Dan on a date, but when she walks through the table, she finally sees Louis' face, and she's relieved. Blair pulls her aside to explain why she and Louis are keeping a low profile.
How is that Dan's hair from the back? like that man looks absolutely nothing like Dan from behind.
Serena exits and explains to Charlie that she must have been mistaken about seeing Dan, but Charlie is insistent that she knows who Dan is and what he looks like. However, Charlie decides to stay in Lower Manhattan. She claims it's to check out NYU. Serena hops into a cab uptown, and Charlie uses her phone to find Dan on the Gossip Girl spotted map.
Yeah, so she needs to prove that she's not incompetent.
And Serena's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. I mean,
she's also basically saying
newsflash.
Gossip Girl is incompetent because Dan was spotted there.
Right, yeah.
Which we know
Yeah.
Gossip Girl's not incompetent. She's tracking these people 24/7, apparently.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, she's got air tags on all of them. And meanwhile, Serena's like, I don't know.
You must be confused, child. At the Empire, Raina goes through a box of her mom's things while Nate sits across the table. He suggests talking to Chuck as he went through something very similar. However, she isn't ready to talk to anybody else about it yet. When Chuck enters, doing his best Howard Hughes imitation, she puts the contents back in the box. Raina steps away to make a call, and Nate tells Chuck he's here for Chuck when he's ready to talk about whatever's bothering him. When Nate walks away, Chuck finds a photo of Raina and her mom that Raina dropped on the floor that leads Chuck to the box, where he quickly figures out what Raina is doing.
I wish I wasn't so bored with all of this. I wish Nate wasn't so boring because I wish Raina wasn't so boring. I really liked Raina for all this time, and I feel like
she was better with Chuck.
She's getting the Nate curse and just becoming boring. And it's not even a super boring plot line, right? It's not a boring thing that they're going through. It could have so much drama. Finding family it's full of drama. Why am I bored? Stop boring me with Nate stuff. And I love Nate. Why is he so boring? Like, could you imagine a spinoff of just Nate? That would be the most boring show.
Dan calls Vanessa in an attempt to mend fences. There is some understandable awkwardness, but the two make plans to grab a drink later.
I loved how Dan didn't feel like he really wanted to be doing this. That it was like, my dad thinks we should be friends again. But, I'm well aware of how much you suck, but I'm just gonna do this anyway.
And Vanessa's still being an asshole.
Yeah, Vanessa, who was begging to be his friend again, is immediately shitty when he calls. It's like, Vanessa, you're on thin ice as it is. Be nice.
You haven't earned Stark yet.
No. Since you're so eager to be back into this group of friends that never liked you, never wanted you there, that you never wanted to be a part of in the first place.
Anne shows up at the penthouse to let Lily know that they will be prepping the gift bags at Blaine Trump's house rather than here. She also asks Lily to send over the food she had catered for the pre-party event. Eric is surprised to see the scones being taken away, and Rufus suspects Lily's social standing has taken a hit since the sentencing.
Yeah, Rufus. Yeah, maybe it has. Maybe all of these snobby Upper East Side people who have never really been too kind to anyone about anything ever aren't going to be kind about this.
So I wasn't too familiar with Blaine Trump, so I kind of Googled her.
Yeah.
She was married to Donald Trump's brother, Robert, from 1984 to 2008. So she was actually already divorced from him for 3 years by the time this was happening.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if someone just didn't do their research.
I mean, she probably kept the name because she's she's a philanthropist and socialite. So her names kind of means something now.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, she doesn't say anything here, but you can see, and I feel like this is really good acting. Some of the first good acting that I've given Anne credit for, but the glee in telling Lily that she can't host and that and the satisfaction she gets of asking for the food to be sent over was, I thought, some of Anne's best work.
Not bad, yeah.
Usually she's just a nothing actor on this show, and that was just, you could just feel how happy she was.
It's funny you should mention that. I was going to say this to the end, but why not just say it now? This is the last episode we see Anne on screen.
Oh, no kidding.
Even though there's 2 seasons left, she just never appears again.
Right. Well, I mean, because she's never really been on for the parenting.
Yeah.
So getting some shots in on her way out for Lily is fantastic. And way to bring it all on your last episode.
A deranged-looking Chuck asks Nate if Serena is looking for her mother. He says it's a mistake, but frames it as if her mother had plenty of opportunities to contact her. She would have, but didn't. When Nate says that Chuck at least got some answers and doesn't Serena deserve the same, Chuck's response is to ask, can she handle being rejected by her mom so soon after losing her dad? When Nate walks away, Chuck calls Andrew Tyler and asks him to investigate the fire and if Avery Thorpe was there that night.
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of get, obviously we know why Chuck doesn't want her looking into this, because he's currently under the impression that his dad may have had something to do with it. And Chuck, even here, does not seem like he's completely convinced by what Russell told him, but he's shook enough.
He's worried
at
that
the prospect. Yeah, he's clearly worried it could be true and doesn't want Raina.
Which is what Thorpe said. You know your father, and you know he could be capable of this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not of an actual person, only
of nameless
janitors and custodians.
Red shirt.
Yeah.
Red shirt security guard.
Yeah, yes. Red shirt security TM. Why do our folks just keep getting picked off?
Blair and Dorota return to the apartment to find Louis waiting. He tells her his parents found out about the date and upset that he is with a commoner. Blair initially thinks that Penelope told Louis' handler, Lucien, about the date, but they figure out it was Dan that did. Blair comes up with a plan and tells Louis to get out his suit. She then calls Dan and tells him to meet her at the Paul Smith's in half an hour. As Dan gets off the phone, we see Charlie is still tracking him.
And when she calls him and she's like, meet me here, you know why.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
And you should be ashamed of yourself. And Dan just being like, oh, fuck. like the recognition that Blair knows and she wasn't supposed to. And we know that Dan was like, I can't do this. This is unethical. And it would hurt my friend. I'm not going to do it. But just the whole setup and reaction was fun.
Yeah. But the story is stupid.
Terrible. The entire story of this episode.
Starting to Google, 75% of royal princes are now married to commoners in Europe.
Yeah.
All 4 of Queen Elizabeth's children are married to commoners.
Yeah.
And this little tiny country, Monaco, they're all worried about. And like Blair says, at least I'm not a circus performer, because guess what? They have married circus performers.
Right. And I actually thought that I remembered that being a thing. So when she made that comment later, it made sense. But this also isn't just some commoner too. This isn't Princess Di walking down the street, how this is a affluent woman of a New York dynasty, or at least a budding New York dynasty. So it's not that she comes from nothing, or has nothing to bring to the family.
And this is what Gossip Girl has to say about it. Charlie may be new to the city, but apparently she already knows how to get around. Who needs a map when you can just follow the cheater? Who's cheating, Gossip Girl?
Yeah, who is cheating here? Because no one is in a relationship.
We move to Act 3. Blair and Dan are shopping for ties while bantering. Dan explains what happened with Lucienne and how he backed out right away when he saw it was her. Blair explains that her plan is for Lucienne to catch Dan and Blair in an intimate moment at tonight's pink party to throw him off the scent of Blair and Louis. Charlie's outside the store snapping pictures of the two.
This plan is really dumb too. Like, oh, we just need to make sure that this guy sees me kissing you, so then that way he knows that the prince isn't into me. And
but it's a total Blair plan.
It is a Blair
and
plan.
It did work too.
It is solid. It is solid scheming in the universe of Gossip Girl, for sure. It's just a really dumb plan in general. Although the other side of this scene is the when Harry met Sally.
Yes.
That we have another reference here where she's more the Harry putting stuff on him.
Which I said from the beginning, they sometimes flip back and forth.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, a tribute should not be
1-to-1
identical. Yeah. It's like a tribute band, right? When I go see a tribute band, I want to see their versions of this of whatever they're playing. You know, the newspaper taxis, my friends that are in a Beatles tribute band, they're fantastic, and they sound like if the Beatles were writing their music today. So it's a new twist on what you're listening to. That's what I want to hear. So same thing with this.
So they're homage.
Oasis? No, they're good.
Wait, you don't like Oasis?
They're really good. Not to say Oasis isn't good. I hated Oasis when they came out. I like them. I appreciate them a lot more now, but I hated them because of their Beatles. Because I was when Don't Look Back in Anger, when it sounded like Imagine, I would get so mad when that would come on the radio.
That's such a good song, though. Eric and Serena are trying to pick a movie for tonight. Rufus enters and is frustrated. He has no pool on the Upper East Side and is apparently also out of touch in the current rock scene. We learn that Serena has some blackmail info that could help get the party moved, but Rufus doesn't want Serena to cross the line. However, Serena gets her own reason to cross that line when she receives a text from Charlie showing Dan and Blair tie shopping for the pink party.
Yeah, Rufus, that would be wrong, wouldn't it? Like, clearly egging her on to do it, which it was like, Rufus, what have you become? Your journey to the dark side is complete.
Now, I don't like the writing of having Eric being the one to bring this up and suggest it in the first place. He knows what it's like to be outed.
Yeah.
I don't like that he is the one to suggest this.
No.
It doesn't really make sense. And also the text from Charlie. This is Dan, right? It looks like he's going to the pink party. It looks like they're going to the pink party.
Yeah.
Like, so you can see her rolling her eyes through the text.
Yeah.
Chuck returns to the Empire to find Nate and Raina heading out. Raina's PI found someone with the same name and age as her mother living in New Jersey. When Chuck offers to come with them, Raina accepts.
Part of me wonders if that, well, we aren't there yet, but and also I thought it was actually, I know Chuck has ulterior motives, but I feel like there's an element of he cares too. You know, that he cares because of himself, but I think that he cares about Raina.
Maybe. Blair and Dan are at her apartment doing that last-minute prep and reviewing the plan. After some more banter, Blair receives a text that the party has been moved to the penthouse. Dan thinks they should back out of the plan, but Blair says it's still a go.
Yeah, and Dan wanted to tell Serena about the plan ahead of time. Gonna remind everyone of that, that Dan did want to tell Serena in case she found out.
And Gossip Girl has this to say as we go to the break. Sorry, lonely boy, but it looks like this is going to be a surrender to the pink party for you. Does that mean he's gonna get fucked? Is that what?
Yeah, that's
that. I don't.
what. Yeah, what's that mean? Gossip Girl, Amanda Lashley. Could I get a quick note?
We get a montage of way too much pink, but at least Lily is having a good time for now. Charlie continues to be wowed by this world, and Serena asks if she has seen Dan and Blair yet. Serena is convinced that when they show up, they won't be able to resist slipping away for a bit of naughty time. Because that's how Serena acts. She thinks everyone is like uncontrollable. Just because she is.
Yeah. Yes.
Narcissist.
Everybody has to be feral. Sort of like the 3 episodes that she was trying to get on Ben.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not interested in you. But I am. But I'm not.
Or the episodes before that with Colin. Where when we had outside, we kept talking about she just couldn't keep it in her pants.
Yeah. The whole plan was just not. And while Colin was like, yeah, we can. Okay, we won't. All right, sure, but we can, though.
Blair and Louie arrive, and she explains the plan to him while they check their coats. Louie is a bit ruffled when he finds out she is going to kiss Dan, but she quickly reassures him.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to like this plan very much. But also the way that Dan once again just puts Dan, or Blair just puts Dan down. Like, oh, it's just a Humphrey.
Lily walks over to Rufus and Eric, ecstatic about the party being moved. But when she walks away, they hear some ladies shitting all over her.
Yeah, it's what happens when you get the party moved. Yeah. You might learn some uncomfortable facts.
Penelope and Jessica are with Blair trying to guess who she's dating. Serena and Charlie walk up and join the conversation. Blair shoos the minions away and reveals to Serena and Charlie her secret boyfriend is the prince. Serena and Charlie aren't buying it though, and they comment on how good Dan looks in his tie. Blair says she stopped listening as soon as Serena mentioned Dan and then walks away. Serena convinces Charlie to bait Blair by flirting with Dan.
I love how in Blair's world, there's nothing with Dan, and there never would be, and why would you ever even consider that? So, even though I'm in this scheme with Dan that I'm about to, blow up, I'm not even going to mention it because who would ever believe that I'd be interested in a Humphrey? That there's always that ethos there.
Now, when Penelope and Jessica are trying to guess, originally I thought they said John Stamos, but it's someone named Jason Simos, who I couldn't quite figure out. I Googled Jason Simos in New York, and like 2 different things came up. One was like someone who was like a producer and a camera person on some location shorts in like the late 2020s or the early 2020s. So well after this was done.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe that guy could have been like a travel leisure person in New York. Who knows? And then the other person that came up with that name was the president of the Peter Sellers Appreciation Society.
Huh. Which that doesn't necessarily scream Penelope to me. That doesn't sound like who she's giving handies to.
So, call to action. Someone please tell me who the hell Jason Simos is.
Yeah. And why is Penelope giving him a handy?
At a diner in Jersey, Chuck, with Raina and Nate, introduces them to a middle-aged waitress named Avery Thorpe. The woman regretfully informs them that she's never had any kids, so she couldn't be Raina's mother. The disappointment convinces Raina that Chuck was right and that she shouldn't dig up the past.
Yes, this one thing got in my way, and I give up. It's hard. And there is this part of me that wonders if that was Raina's mom. That if we're going to see this come back around again at some point. So I had that thought too.
Would they really reuse that storyline again?
They have reused how many storylines so far this season? I'm still, the more, I'll get into it later, but even like the Charlie big secret thing, like I feel like whatever that is, it has to be a rehash of something.
Blair gets a text from Louis that his handler has arrived. She immediately finds Dan and Charlie flirting and admonishes both of them. She is Serena's cousin and he is Serena's ex, and they should know better. Blair pulls Dan away under the guise of needing to lecture him some more. As they walk away, Dan points out that she seems to find a lot of reasons for them to kiss and not to get handsy. Lucien spots them going upstairs and follows them. Charlie also follows moments later.
I do love how Blair is turning on Charlie, that Charlie can only be, the welcome addition for so long, but she has now been put on Blair's radar.
Well, I mean, from Blair's point of view, she doesn't want Lucien to see Dan with her flirting.
Right, yeah.
Or she could just be jealous.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I really did get a little bit of both. That this is your cousin's ex, he's off limits, but I did get a sense of an I don't want you with him either.
Lily finds Anne to thank her for moving the party, but instead learns that it was only moved because of blackmail. She says Lily should have suffered her humiliation in solitude, and then points out that every woman at the party is relishing in Lily's downfall. Oh, and her ankle monitor is showing.
Boom. just completely dragged Lily.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it.
Because she would have done the exact same thing.
Yep, she did the exact same thing.
Blair and Dan are walking down the stairs doing a post-kiss recap when everyone's phones go off with a Gossip Girl blast of their makeout. We get some great reaction shots from Eric, Penelope, and Jessica. Then we get Charlie coming down the stairs behind Dan and Blair, making it pretty obvious who sent the video.
Yep. Well, I mean, Lucien has something to take home to the Royals.
Not that it matters 5 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got this whole big plot to make sure that nobody finds out that we're together. And then let's just announce it.
Was this just another test by Louis?
Yeah.
To see how dedicated she can be.
Yeah. Can you date a royal without anyone knowing? The answer, no, she can't.
Dan and Blair go to find Serena, but are caught by Penelope, who demands to know if it's true. When Blair sees Lucien watching in the background, she grabs Dan's hand and they declares their love for each other.
Yeah. Doubled down. Went for it.
Yep.
So, if it is a test, she's passing this time, Louie.
Serena finds Louis, who is unbothered because he knows the plan, but Serena sows doubts in his head when she tells him that Dan and Blair have been secretly seeing each other for months, and reminds him that Blair lied to him in Paris as well. Blair rushes up to explain, but when Serena storms off, Blair chooses to follow her friend first before talking to Louis.
Yeah. She does the friend thing first, which is good. Yes. And yeah, so then they follow Serena into her room.
Lily sneaks out of the party and onto the elevator, and we get a Gossip Girl narration. Uh-oh. Lily may be wearing her dancing shoes, but it looks like she's about to make a run for it.
Just so much dumb stuff in this episode.
We move into Act 5. Chuck and Nate are back at the Empire, but Nate is going to stay at Raina's tonight. Why did he come back here if he's just going to... They were all together.
Yeah.
But whatever. He thinks she should keep looking for her mom, Nate, that is. But however, Chuck is adamant that she doesn't and explains his final conversation with Russell. Chuck says he's going to try to find the truth, and just then, Andrew Tyler enters with a file box.
Yeah, and he basically kicks Nate out. He gives Nate a look of like, the fuck out. I've got business.
Blair and Dan follow Serena to a quiet bedroom and explain the whole friends, not friends thing that developed over Christmas break. then why they kissed the first time and that it meant nothing. Serena isn't buying it and gives her signature line. However, it's Dan who leaves, and Blair and Serena continue their conversation. Serena lashes out and says the only appeal Dan had to Blair was that he was hers. Blair lashes right back and essentially calls Serena an uncultured dimwit.
Which Blair had every right to do. Like they
Serena
established
was horrible
her.
in the scene.
Yeah. And she was such an asshole.
Like,
because
she literally
here's
declared Dan as her possession.
Yeah. And here's your two best friends, the only two people who are ever there for you, who will ever drop anything to help you. And you're just like, oh yeah, fuck both of you for being friends and not wanting me to know. And it's like, there was nothing to tell. And by the time there was, they didn't care anymore. So it's just so fucking frustrating that she was just, like you said, calls Dan hers, despite them agreeing that they're not anything. And also Serena with the whole like, oh, you just want things that I have, and that you just want to live you want the spotlight. And it's like, who cares about spotlight? It's Dan Humphrey. Clearly I don't care about spotlight if that's who you're mad about.
So Dan, he's so over Serena right now. The way he's like, no, I'm over this. I'm walking. He just walks out. He's like, yeah. I said what happened. I'm not lying. I did nothing wrong. Peace.
Yeah. You want to be mad at me? Fuck yourself.
And then, so where do you weigh in on the Chaparral versus Robert debate?
I'd have to check my notes.
I bet Eden has an opinion on that.
Probably.
They're French New Wave directors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never watched any of their films.
A police officer finds Lily in the building lobby with the intent to arrest her for violating her house arrest. Lily drops a line about being confused about the limits of her house arrest being the apartment or the building, but in the meantime, there have been some noise complaints about her party.
Yeah, she goes downstairs to call the cops. And, like, I get why it's funny, but it's also just dumb that she does it just to have the cops run the people out that she could have just kicked out of her house.
But she wanted to embarrass them, though.
Yeah, she did. But, like, who's embarrassed, though? Like, what? They're embarrassed, and they can easily say, well, that's what happens when you get kicked out of a felon's party.
I wish they would have just arrested Lily. Like, you're going to jail. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. You're going to jail.
Go.
Oh, we're not confused about the parameters of your parole. Yeah. So we'll clear this up for you. You have the right to remain silent.
Back at the party, Blair is looking for the prince, but safety dance is interrupted by the police getting off the elevator and breaking up the party. Lily walks behind the officers with a satisfied look on her face. Anne and the other socialites look mortified.
And Lily just stands behind the cops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Gossip Girl has this to say. Time to grab your Judith Liebers, ladies. Looks like the Upper East Side's smoothest criminal has just given you the boot. We move into the epilogue. Post-party, Rufus apologizes to Lily for the party move blowing up. She admits that hearing those things might have been a good thing, and now she can use this time to actually reflect on her life.
I wonder what that's going to look like. I wonder what Lily reflecting will look like.
So at the beginning of the season, you had a couple of predictions about Rufus and Lily getting another kid, either by Lily getting pregnant or by adopting Milo.
Yeah.
I kind of find it interesting that her sentence is specifically 9 months. It seems like an odd number.
Yeah. That is an interesting. Yeah. Also, I had flashbacks because the school where I met our mutual friend Adam the number of times I had to speak into someone's ankle to let them know that they were in school and that they were not in violation of their parole, because that thing will just ring, and then there will be a human being like, why aren't you at home? It's like, hi, I am their teacher. They're in school right now.
Oh, boy. Charlie knocks on the door to the loft so she can apologize to Dan for recording him. Dan silently invites her in to talk. Charlie says she saw the kiss and thinks Dan really likes Blair, to which she admits she is probably right. Charlie then reveals she too has experienced unrequited love and watching the one you want walk away with someone else. Charlie lets Dan know that Vanessa told Serena about the first Dan-Blair kiss. Dan assumed it had been Chuck. When Dan learns this new info, he invites Charlie to stay.
Definitely some setup here. Definitely pushing this Charlie-Dan friendship and getting it to try to be something else, it seems. But also Dan realizing it was Vanessa is like, oh, you motherfucker.
And I like how he plans to just stand her up. He's not going to call her. He's just going to stand her up.
Yeah. Also, Dan finally admitting again that he does like Blair, even though there was the whole, he doesn't really, you know?
I mean, he basically admitted already to Eric.
I'm saying that now that they have had now that Dan and Blair had their, oh, it was nothing moment. Because with Eric, it was before the it was nothing moment. So now for Dan to be like, yeah, it wasn't nothing. Which you could also kind of see, you could also see that he was jealous of Louis in that first scene when he was stalking him, I thought. When he saw her go over there, I thought he looked a little jealous.
I think he was just still uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Possibly.
Blair and Louis are riding in a limo. Blair explains the situation to him, but unlike Serena, he says he believes her. As the limo comes to a halt, we hear people outside. Louis asks one more time if she is ready to go public, and then leads her out of the limo into a sea of paparazzi, and then kisses her in dramatic fashion.
All of that. This entire episode all just comes around to
it didn't matter at all.
It's never mind. It was like Indiana Jones. It was going to happen that way anyway.
We see Serena's laptop open to a bio page for Louis and overhear her calling Jean-Michel the limo driver that went on the double date with her at the beginning of the season. What are you doing, Serena? What are you doing?
Yeah, sir. Like, you're gonna show her, all right. Like that's how you're really gonna get back at Blair.
Well, she's not trying to get back at Blair. She's trying to get info on Louis from Jean-Michel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
She's not trying to make Blair jealous. She's trying to get info.
Okay. I was taking it as she was trying to one up Blair.
Because she's like, oh, I was thinking about our time there. Oh, and Louis. What about Louis? And plus, she has the page open to his bio too, so it's clearly she's digging into Louis, trying to find dirt.
One asshole. What is your fucking problem, Serena?
Like, clearly she's not dating Dan because she's dating the prince.
Yeah.
Why are you mad?
Yeah.
Because they lied about being friends?
But who cares? Like, they're not dating. That's the thing that you should worry about.
At the loft, Dan is opening a couple bottles of beer for him and Charlie and explains the history of Jenny's former bedroom. And then he then says she can go check it out when there is a knock on the door. It turns out to be Vanessa, who Dan tells he was planning on standing up for being a rat bastard. But Dan clearly states for the record, they are not friends anymore.
Yeah, like, I just want to make this very clear. It was harsh.
Yeah.
But he was just like, because, like, how much do you have to hate somebody to be like, we're not friends? We're not friends anymore. This is it. We're done. Move on with your life.
If anyone can bring it out, Vanessa can bring that type of hatred out.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Man.
At the Empire, Andrew Tyler is telling Chuck what he found. He gives Chuck a videotape that shows Bart and Avery Thorpe having an argument outside of the building. They both enter the building. Bart leaves, and Avery Thorpe is never seen again.
Yep.
He done killed that bitch.
Yeah, then Chuck, of course, starts watching the video, and then that's it, right? That's the XOXO.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a fake her death to get away from Thorpe thing in here.
Well, this is how Gossip Girl ends the episode. You can never really know someone until you walk a mile in their shoes. At first, it might not seem like the most natural fit, but walk around in the shoes long enough and you'll discover you just might like it. Just don't get too comfortable, kids, because you never know when the other shoe is going to drop. XOXO, Gossip Girl. That is our episode. What is coming next?
So I just said, I think that there's a she faked her own death thing, which if it is that waitress and she faked her own death and didn't change her name, that is just some of the fucking best we have had so far. I do believe that Louis and Blair are not going to last very long.
Can you give an episode count?
Okay, how many are left?
3.
Is it 3 left in the season? There's 22 episodes, right? I think it'll last the last. No, you know what? I think they're gonna break up at the end of the next episode.
Okay.
I think it'll. I'm gonna give them 1 episode. I don't feel like Blair can keep something up, and I don't think that they want him around that long. He's not good. He's not really bringing much to the table so far, I don't think. I mean, all he's had to do is be pretty eye candy.
So I don't know if you did the math earlier in the episode. We did find out Serena's age is she's 26.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of weird
because we saw the
2 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Possibly 19 or 20.
Yeah. Probably 20 by now. End of
the season.
It's the end of the season. Yeah. So yeah, that's the MO of people dating Upper East Siders. They like them young. At least we know it's not just the men.
Yes. They are equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Any other predictions?
I did have one. Oh, I think that this is eventually going to bring Raina and Chuck on the brink of another romance at some point. I think there's going to be a tension there that is going to bring those two closer together. And outside of that, I really don't have anything else, no.
Well, let's get into segments.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
This week in fandom, we jumped into the Wayback Machine to travel the Television Without Pity forums from 2011. Their overall impression of the episode, it was good. It was a good episode. It's fun.
Okay. It had fun. It had fun. I thought it was mostly a dumb episode. I thought a lot of it was just dumb.
This is a dumb show.
I mean, fair.
Serena doing Serena stuff, a.k.a. being petty.
Yeah. Yep.
Nate and Reina's relationship has run its course. Let's get Nate back in the main storyline.
Yeah. I mean, or don't, because we don't want the main storyline to get boring.
Well, I like when he's interacting with Dan. It's just like a bro.
Yeah. I love him with Dan. I like him with Blair, too, when they have...
Yeah, their friend stuff is good.
Yeah, when they have good friend stuff.
Charlie is about to fatal attraction Dan, not buying the innocent act.
Yeah, there's something there. And, we had that hint. I guess I should have predicted that, too, that there's going to be something with Dan and Charlie. I also think, and I don't know why it took me this long for it to occur to me, Many shows and movies and screenwriters avoid having characters with the same name, or having characters with names that are too close to each other or too similar. So to have a Charlie and a Chuck is a little bit of a strange writing thing. I'm assuming she came from the books, but if she didn't, it's just weird to name a character so close to another character.
I don't think she came from the books.
Okay.
I believe that it's short for Charlotte.
Yeah, her mom. What's her mom's name? Caroline? Carol. So yeah, Charlotte. I think they did say Charlotte.
They're loving the back-to-back episodes of Blair standing up to her for herself. First Chuck last episode, then against Serena this episode.
Yeah, good for her.
They thought Louis was sweet.
I mean, he is. Maybe too sweet for Blair.
And they wish that we would get a scene of Nate reacting to Dare.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I would too.
That is it for this week in fandom. Moving over to episode grades. I went first last time, so you can go ahead and go first this time.
This was really middle of the road for me. I'm going to go a B-. I don't think it was terrible. I don't think it was great. I think it had fun. I think the writing and the storylines were dumber than usual. But I'm going to drop it off at a B-.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an A episode by any means, but I thought it was very fun. And yes, the storylines were dumb, but I think it worked. Everything was kind of fun and goofy. The Nate and Serena stuff was a little bit boring, but that was only a pretty small portion of the episode. So I actually gave it a B+.
Okay, fair.
Stockwatch. Who do you have going up?
Well, the newly announced couple of Louis and Blair, I'll give them both the ups. I am going to give Charlie an up for her, the way she ends up with Dan at the end and comes in to try to be a good friend to Dan. And I'm going to give Nate an up for being there for his girl and helping her find the thing. And I think that is it for my ups. Oh, no, Ann Archibald. Probably the first and only time she has gone up. She has probably had nothing but negative stock up until now. But Ann Archibald, on your last episode, way to go. Way to really knock it out. Ann Archibald gets the up.
Yeah, I had to keep her neutral because she got mortified at the end.
That's fair, but I'd figured give her one on the way out.
For me, going up, I had Blair because she's getting her royal fantasy fairy tale. I did not give Louis up though. I gave Charlie up because
he's with a commoner.
We'll get to where he's going down later. Charlie going up because she was, she's successfully navigating the Gossip Girl spotted map and ended up with Dan at the end there. I had Dan going up because he got the banter, got to kiss Blair, and had a fun. He was kind of he's no nonsense. He was just being a good friend to everyone, pretty much. So I had Nate going up for the same reason as you. He supported Raina in her trialing time. I had Eric going up, even though that weird writing choice at the beginning, I thought he was at the end of the day, he was doing everything to support his mom. And then I also had Penelope going up because that endorphin rush she got when finding out that Dan and Blair were dating.
That's funny.
Who do you got going down?
I had Lily going down for getting humiliated at her party. I had Rufus going down for having the whole party moved and that ending up blowing up in their faces. I had Serena going down for just being a fucking asshole. I had Vanessa going down for the same reason as Serena, just being a fucking asshole. And I had Raina going down because she is not really finding out about her mom, and just in general, that whole thing got kind of boring. And do I give Chuck? I was on the fence about Chuck because of the whole getting this thing at the end, but I'm going to let Chuck stay neutral.
I had Chuck
With
to
Dan.
as well.
Yeah.
For me going down, I had Lily, the obvious one. I had Raina go down because she didn't find her mom. Serena going down because, yeah, she was horrible opposite. She was being Serena.
Yeah. Yep.
Vanessa for being Vanessa.
Yep.
I had Rufus going down, but for a different reason, you know. I had him going down because of his weird Vanessa obsession.
Okay. Yes.
And then I had Louis go down because he got cucked.
Yeah. He did.
and smiled at it.
And so, yeah, and was happy about it. I don't know. Personally, I don't always think that is a negative thing, you know, to each their own.
Fair enough.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Moving over to best outfit, who do you have?
I'm going to give it to Dan and the suit and the pink tie. I didn't like a lot. I thought a lot of the pink outfits were just awful. So I'm going to give it to Dan.
Yeah, I was close to giving it to Blair for her outfit for the date, but it was too similar to the dress that just won 2 episodes ago that she kissed Dan in. So I actually went with Dan as well.
Oh, nice. Good job, Dan. It was sharp. Yeah. He was sharp.
He looked great this episode.
Yeah.
That is it for segments. Do you have anything you would like to plug this week?
I don't really have anything that I am plugging at the moment. So you can go ahead and find me on TikTok or Instagram, steve.marchion, Marchion, and give me a follow there and see what kind of dumb stuff I'm posting while I'm on there. And I think that's pretty much it for me right now. Oh, actually, wait a second. I'm still waiting on some confirmations on this, but in March, I believe, I want to say March 12th, it is a weekend in March that I will be performing at the Morgantown Canna Fair. So I was asked to play there the other day, and I said yes, I would love to. So the Morgantown Canna Fair in March. Come check me out playing some music.
Nothing that I want to plug this month, but you can follow me on social media on Instagram and on Blue Sky. I'm at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And if you want to find links to our Discord server, to our Patreon, if you want to support the podcast, and also our subreddit, you can go to our webpage, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you would like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say and possibly even read your email here on the show. So please go ahead and send an email to nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And also, while you're at it, if you can hit that like, the subscribe, the follow button, that really helps us out a lot. And if you leave a comment in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that really helps with our visibility. And finally, let your friends know what you're listening to. Tell the folks at work that the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod is available wherever they stream podcasts as well.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 4, Episode 20, titled The Princess and the Frog. The episode description reads, Blair's dreams appear to be coming true, but Serena threatens to jeopardize it by dredging up Blair's past. Charlie befriends Vanessa, who may or may not have a hidden agenda. Nate is torn between his relationship with Raina and truth he must keep hidden out of loyalty to Chuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was at the Vanessa thing.
I have to say, this next episode might be my most hated episode of the series.
Really? That's strong. And God, fucking Vanessa. Like, I'm already annoyed and we haven't even started it yet, so.
That part I actually like. Surprisingly. You'll see when you get to the part that I hate.
Okay.
You'll know. You'll know. Well, until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me